In Muslim history, there was once a powerful empire that lasted for nearly 600 years and was considered one of the most influential empires in the world. This empire ruled vast territories across 3 continents: Asia, Africa, and Europe. Many important regions, such as present-day Turkey, Greece, Bulgaria, Egypt, Hungary, Macedonia, Mesopotamia, Palestine, Lebanon, and Syria, were under its dominion. During this long period, several rulers played significant roles in promoting and spreading Islam. Additionally, their control over major global trade routes not only expanded the empire's borders, but also strengthened its economic foundation. It is said that people of various religions and cultures coexisted peacefully under this empire, reflecting a tolerant and liberal governance system. The rise of this vast Ottoman Empire began in Anatolia, at the junction of the Black Sea and the Mediterranean, about 800 years ago. At that time, a young man named Osman lived in that region of Anatolia, where the Seljuk Turks ruled. However, their empire was gradually declining due to Mongol invasions. It was during this crisis that Osman, with his courage, foresight, and leadership, began conquering nearby villages and towns one by one. In 1299, he established his own independent state, the Ottoman state. This modest beginning later became one of the largest and most powerful Muslim empires in history. But what was the real secret behind Osman's success? He was not just a skilled warrior, but also an exceptionally wise ruler. When he conquered Christian-majority regions, he did not force or persecute the local people. Instead, he granted them full freedom to practice their own religion. This made him a trustworthy and acceptable leader among his subjects. Osman's just and tolerant governance earned the trust of the local population, who willingly accepted Ottoman rule. Gradually, the empire's foundation grew stronger. Then came the year 1453, when the stage of history witnessed the city of Constantinople, the capital of the mighty Byzantine Empire, standing at the crossroads of Europe and Asia along the Bosporus Strait. For nearly 1,100 years, Constantinople had remained unconquered. Its formidable walls were unbreakable. Yet, Sultan Mehmed II, also known as Mehmed the Conqueror, boldly declared, "I will conquer this city." However, the task was not easy. The city was surrounded by high, sturdy walls, and its sea route was blocked by massive iron chains to prevent enemy ships from entering. But was Mehmed the Conqueror one to give up so easily? Absolutely not. He devised a different strategy. He commissioned 70 massive cannons, the most famous of which was the Basilica, so large and powerful that its construction took several months. After these extraordinary preparations, an unforgettable chapter in history began, culminating on May 29, 1453. On that day, Sultan Mehmed the Conqueror emerged victorious, and the invincible walls of Constantinople finally fell before the Ottoman swords. After the conquest, Sultan Mehmed the Conqueror went straight to the Hagia Sophia, where he performed prayers. However, he reassured the Christians, saying, "You may continue to worship here freely." His generosity and tolerance elevated the conquest to greatness. From then on, Constantinople became known by a new name, Istanbul, which later became the glorious new capital of the Ottoman Empire. In 1520, Sultan Suleiman ascended the throne. Under his reign, the Ottoman Empire reached its zenith, controlling many important cities from Vienna to the Middle East. He was not only a skilled ruler, but also a symbol of justice, earning him the title the Lawgiver. Suleiman authored an important legal code called the Kanunname, which outlined specific and clear punishments for each crime, further solidifying the empire's legal and disciplinary framework. Sultan Suleiman was not just a mighty warrior, but also a patron of art, culture, and architecture. The Suleymaniye Mosque, built during his reign, still stands tall in Istanbul, showcasing the grandeur of Ottoman architecture. However, even during this golden age, shadows of darkness began to emerge. His beloved wife, Hürrem Sultan, started interfering in politics. Palace intrigues multiplied, and the Janissary Corps became overly powerful and uncontrollable, signaling a dangerous crisis for the empire's future. After 1700, the Ottoman Empire gradually began to decline, but why? At that time, Europe was entering a new era of knowledge, science, and industrialization, building trains, factories, and modern armies equipped with advanced weapons. Meanwhile, the Ottomans remained confined to their old traditions, glory, and stagnant ways. Their failure to adapt to this competition for change marked the beginning of their downfall. The Ottomans failed to keep pace with new technologies and modern ideologies, and the consequences were dire. Defeat after defeat in wars exposed their weaknesses. The crushing defeat at the Battle of Vienna in 1683 accelerated their decline. From then on, Europeans began mocking the Ottoman Empire. The sultans attempted various reforms to halt the decline. They established schools and colleges, enacted new laws, but the root of the problem lay much deeper. The empire's administrative, economic, and military structures had become so weak that no amount of surface-level reform could stop the internal decay. In 1914, when World War I broke out, the Ottoman Empire sided with Germany and entered the war. However, they ultimately faced total defeat. In 1922, the last sultan left the country, and within a year, in 1923, modern Turkey was born. The leadership of this new state was assumed by Mustafa Kemal Ataturk, who undertook the responsibility of reshaping the country along European lines. He established women's right to education, introduced Western clothing, and adopted the Latin alphabet, ushering Turkey into a new, modern era. The Ottoman Empire is now a part of history, but its legacy remains alive and palpable. Walking the streets of Istanbul, one can still see the marks of its glory: the architectural marvel of Hagia Sophia, the domes of the Suleymaniye Mosque, and the extraordinary aesthetics of Ottoman craftsmanship. The story of this empire has never truly ended. It lives on in the pages of history, in the bricks and stones of ancient walls, and in the memories of people. Just as the light of a setting sun lingers in the sky, the glow of the Ottoman Empire still shines brightly in history.